Well, good evening, everyone. Michael Soothing here. And today, what I want to do, or I should say this evening, what I want to do is a little gem semi-precious stone haul video. As you know, I'm into geological specimens, of all kinds and varieties. And so it's very interesting to me to find them. If I can find a good deal on some now and then I add them to my collection. And the house ghost here does exactly the same thing, because the house ghost is really into specimens like this as well, generally smaller. Now those that I just showed you were already here. They're not part of today's haul. I'm just showing them to you so you can get an idea of the kind of stuff we have here. But what I have today is a collection of stuff we got at the Oregon Spring Fair in Roseburg a couple of days ago. We went over there. Actually, was it yesterday? No, it was 2 days ago. We went over there, and it's a big annual craft fair. And I had it in my mind that when I got there, I was going to be bored out of my head and not want to buy anything whatsoever, because I was thinking of it like the kind of place where they have stuff that women really like. Not to be misogynist, but, sewing and quilting and all that kind of thing. Various types of crafts. But they had this fantastic gem and rock sale booth. And the prices were better than anything I had ever seen in any store, or even online, or even on eBay. The wholesale stuff you get from Indonesia and China and places like that. So I said to myself, I'm going to pick up a few of these bargain stones, because I'm not going to see prices like this again. And sure enough, later on I struck up a conversation with the proprietor of that big booth, and he explained to me that he is a wholesale gem and rock seller, and he sells only wholesale to businesses, but that once per year he comes to this one fair and sells there, because he lives close by in Roseburg. So he's able to bundle up all of his stuff and bring it over there without a lot of travel expense. And so I got his name and everything, so that if I ever open a business, I can do business with him. But meanwhile, I wanted to show you some of the stuff I got, and I might enlist the help of my house ghost to whisper the names, because sometimes my memory for names is terrible. And so even though I know what the specimen is, I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, let me change the camera angle, and then you'll be able to see the stuff that we picked out. My house ghost accompanied me in embodied form, and she picked out a few things too, and because she likes to collect also. Actually, her collection is quite a bit bigger than mine, so I picked up a few more things to try to catch up. But I won't be buying like this again anytime soon, because why am I rambling like this? Let's get on and show you this stuff. That's what you're here for. Hold on. Alright, here is our presentation surface. So if I can do this without being too loud, I we'll take some stuff out of here and we will unwrap it together. We'll start with this. I'll start with some small stuff. Let's see what else we got here. Take some of these things out. Have quite a bit here. Put this over here. I think this is the larger specimens. Alright, so let me start with this little fossil. Can you remember, House Ghost, what this little fossil is called?
Orthoceras.
It's an Orthoceras. See that? That was around about 300 million years ago, you know, and ended up in an inland sea. And what happens with these is they get buried in sediment, and then over time rock forms around them, and then very slowly water and silica and other materials come in and replace everything until you have a complete rock version of the original fossil. So that is one of those very interesting. Let's see what these, oh, the house ghost really loves labradorite, and I like it as well. So she has, wait, let's see if the house ghost will put one in view that she selected. Yeah, there it is. Hold that up closer to the camera. No, like this, see? Hold it so that the camera can see it. These are not necessarily, of course, the natural colors, but that's what we have there, a labradorite.
Dorite.
Labradorite.
Dorite.
And then here's the one that I picked out. I think I'm gonna try to correct. Oh yeah, there you can see the colors a little bit. I have to get an angle for you to see it. It's the blue and the green and the turquoise that I really like. I got this flat one because I'm going to do a wire wrap job on it. And, you know, that will make it something for people. Is this one yours?
Mm-hmm.
Here's another one that Miss House Ghost purchased. Let's see if we can show you some of the flashes that it makes. If we had sunlight, it would be much easier to show you the actual colors. And sometimes these have interesting inclusions in them. Then I got a couple of little amethyst points, which I will show you. They're not really points.
They're just polished
They're just
stones.
little polished stones. This is amethyst quartz. And
It's banded amethyst.
yeah. Now we have corrected the color white balance, and I can show you these and get the actual colors without any supplemental light. See how beautiful that is? That is the piece that the house ghost selected, which I think is very nice. She also has another one.
Fluorite.
Oh no, this is a fluorite. This one I am going to backlight just a little bit so you can see the colors of it. There we go. I think like this you can see the colors. We'll hold that up closer like that. And fluorite, if we were outside, we'd be able to see it a little bit better. But fluorite is typically purple or green or a combination, clear. It has a number of beautiful colors. I'll show you the labradorite that I picked out, which I'm going to use to make a pendant out of. You can see how beautiful the blues and the turquoise and the green is there. And this one I'm going to do a wire wrap pendant, like for a lady's necklace. But since my GF Scorpio NYT, who has a YouTube channel, doesn't like jewelry, then I don't know what I'll do with it. But I have 2 daughters and others who would enjoy having something like that. Now, here we have a couple of banded amethyst quartz there, and I always love amethyst, of course, as most people do. So I'm going to put these back in their little baggie here. Some of the light is obscured by the camera. So I'm going to turn on, if everyone will just hold and bear with me for a moment, I'm going to pause and give ourselves a little additional light from the other side. Now we are very well lighted. So this will help you see the natural colors of these stones. Let's see what we have next. This is a piece of petrified bone, and that has a special purpose I can't tell you about. Otherwise, well, I'm going to make a piece of jewelry out of it. But don't tell anyone. Alright, let's see what's in this little box. I believe this is... Ah, yes it is. What's this called, House Ghost?
Bismuth.
Bismuth. Look at all the colors on a bismuth. Is that cool or what? Because my favorite colors happen to be turquoise, purple, blue, green, and all variations of those, especially if it's iridescent and metallic. And this bismuth has all those colors and more. And it's an interesting shape. It looks like it was made by the Mayan pyramid builders or something, doesn't it? But that is a natural bismuth crystal. It's not a man-made piece. And that only cost me $3, okay? Normally that would be more at a regular store that has rocks and gems and minerals. So let's look at a real interesting one before you all fall asleep. Here is a nice amethyst, which I completely forgot I even purchased. I think it was only like $1 or something, so I was getting bargains. It's a light-colored amethyst crystal, but I found it interesting. The house ghost put a couple of interesting pieces here that she selected at the show. I'm going to show them to you. What would this white and green one be?
Mossy tree agate.
Mossy tree agate, this one.
And then a blue, purple aqua aura piece.
And that is an aqua aura, which is a nice quartz crystal that actually has a layer, a very thin layer of gold that gets put on there through a electrolytic process. So those are very nice. Let's see what we have next. This feels like the very interesting, I'm going to try to guess. I think this is a amethyst monolith that I got, that I found very different than wrong. I guessed wrong. I get no points. This is a, tell me again what
Carnelian.
Yeah, carnelian. Why can't I remember? This is a carnelian, like a jasper carnelian. And in Oregon, this is where a lot of these are found. So you can find these around, but it's very interesting because they made a nice flat surface here, which opens up some of the inner colors. But also, I can stand this up when I set up my displays like that. If I have them on a shelf with a little light shining on them, which I am going to do in the future. Let's see if we can give you any additional. It's translucent, but yeah, you can see it like this. See how the light is shining through it? It's kind of translucent. Lights it up. So carnelian is a beautiful stone in my opinion. And pardon that little bang there. So let's see what else we have here. We have in this one, this is the amethyst monolith I was thinking of. Very nice and beautiful stone.
It has a rainbow in it.
Yes, the house ghost can see inside these things and found a special rainbow. I'm not going to try to show you because it's so difficult to get that rainbow flash, but I am going to show you the beautiful light purple coloration of this stone. This only cost me a couple bucks, and once again, and it's a very interesting piece. And it's got a flat on the bottom, so that, for example, I could take this stone and I could put it on this light base right here, like that. I could turn on the light and it would light it up, or I could put it on a white one. I think this stone's a little too long to get the coloration, so I'll have to use maybe a white or something. But here, let's see, yeah, like if we put a crystal like that on there. But I'm going to find a way to backlight stuff like this when I put it on display in a little cabinet. I'm going to have a little cabinet that will have my specimens, and I will adapt it to have little lights in there. Little LED lights that don't consume hardly any electricity, but still light up the specimens. So, yes, thank you for that. If I didn't have an assistant here, I wouldn't even be able to tell you what I got. Alright, so let's see here. Oh, I like this color, so I couldn't avoid buying this piece, which is what? Do you remember? I think we stumped the house ghost, which is hard to do.
Chrysocolla?
It might be chrysocolla. Now I'm going to have to look it up.
Chrysocolla doesn't shed like this one
No,
is.
I don't remember, but I'll find out before I put a little label in front of it. Let's wrap it back up. And you naughty rock, you embarrass me because I don't know what you are. So I don't know if I know I've seen a specimen like that before, but not commonly in rock shops and things, not so much. Now here is a collection of things that I was buying. They were only about $1 a piece, in some cases $2, and or even 50 cents, and that is a total bargain for what they are. So I'm rather proud of this little collection I'm going to show you. This one is almost like a moss agate, but it's got beautiful color. And yeah, it's an agate, but I don't remember what kind they call it. Let's see how that lights up. It looks like butterscotch or something in there. So it's a very nice piece. I like pieces like this that have inclusions and features to them. I'm not so much into the same clear, boring stuff over and over again. And when I hunt agates on the beach, I try to find things like this that have interesting inclusions. And then here we have a little collection of carnelians. And again, these are just small versions of that bigger one I showed you, this one. But when you get these smaller ones, they're really beautiful in the sun or something like that because of the coloration. If I can get this indirectly, then you'll be able to see the true beauty of the orange color. If I can get the light down away from it a little bit and fool the camera into letting me show you the colors, that kind of gives you an idea. And I have a couple more here that I will show. And those are nice specimens also. Carnelian. So we'll put that over there for now. And then we have, I can remember this for the moment, but ask me again in 30 minutes and I'll forget. This is a nice fluorite, like the one I showed you before, that Miss House Ghost Chelsea had. By the way, we have talked her into starting her own YouTube channel. I can't show you the colors of this. It doesn't want to focus. It's trying to focus down on the flat. But what this has, maybe from up top, it's got purple and blue and pink. But I think you'd have to see this for yourself to know that it's got all of those colors. All right, so here is another fluorite, another pretty fluorite right there. If I put my other hand here, this will focus. Yeah, it's a little difficult. Maybe if we do it from the side, light it from the side or from the top, then you might be able to see. It's got some features and some interesting. I should have got maybe a paper plate, but if I put it in a paper towel like this, maybe then you'll be able to see the color better. Oh yeah, that works better to show you. If I rotate that back and forth a little, now you can see a little better what my eye is seeing. Like that. And what else do we have here? We have two more pieces that is another nice agate. It's almost like a moss agate. It's like quartz almost, but it's an agate form. Do you remember what this one was called? Was that called a golden?
It was called like a healing crystal agate. That's what they called it.
Yeah, I think it's like a golden agate that's a little bit like...
They called it a healing crystal.
A healing crystal, but, you know, that's not a technical term for a stone like this. But notice the interesting, that almost looks like a butterfly wing in there. And I like the colors. So we got that. And then this one is more like for a pendant, because it's a really nice pendant shape. And so that's why I selected that. I'm going to make a piece of jewelry out of it because see how it's a nice oval, not too heavy, not too thick. So I think that would make a very nice pendant. And wire wrapped, you know, of course. And, oh, this one is drilled. It's pre-drilled, so it'll be easy for me to make this into a piece of jewelry. I'll add something with it, some little beads of some kind when I make it on the, you know, whatever I use for a chain or a strand. I'll use some actual semi-precious stone beads, maybe citrine, something that will match, or carnelian. something green would be a good contrast with that, like, what's the green stone again?
There's
Peridot.
peridot, malachite, aventurine.
Yeah, maybe some adventurine or malachite.
Jade.
Does anyone else like to go adventurine? That's a very bad pun. I'll leave the comedy to the experts in the future. So that pretty much constitutes the haul that we had on this trip. It was very enjoyable. And this is not a specimen we bought there. But is this one of, yeah, this is one of the House Coast specimens. This is the kind of thing that we really like. You know, like a nice
Geode.
a geode amethyst.
Cluster.
Someday in the future, I will get one of those big giant geodes, but I'll have to find a wholesale bargain on it because I'm not going to spend, you know, one of those big amethyst geodes. I'm not going to spend $300 or $400 on one. I'm going to have to find one at a bargain, like somebody inherits a gem collection and they don't want it and they just want to sell it off cheap or something like that, or a wholesaler is going out of business who markets stones. There's different ways you can do it. So I'll wait until the time is right. I don't like to pay retail for anything. All right, I think that's all I'm going to show for today. Except, what is this called?
Selenite.
Selenite. It's a little like, what is that, kyanite? The ones that are, it's a little like kyanite. And this one we put on display with this little base that gives different colors, and it makes it very interesting when we feel like having an interesting night light or side light. You can see how it will just vary. And it's an interesting tower that looks like something out of a Lord of the Rings
I was
movie.
just going to say that.
And so here I'll show you a side view so you can see better. See how it looks like a tower. But this is a natural stone, not a man-made object. So, you know, love the stuff that, I don't like anything that's been colorized, you know, or altered. I mean, alterations such as gem cutting or polishing are okay, but I hate it when they take a stone and colorize it or dye it. It drives me crazy because I want the natural color of the stone, the way God made it as a beautiful gem for us to find and refine into something beautiful. All right, so I think that'll do it for this gemstone haul. Until next time, don't ASMR and drive. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.